Hi everybody, it's Scott from Crypto Scott S. It's been a while since I did a video, but I had a request off of my Discord. People wanted to know how to deal with bags. Bags, of course, are those coins that we've been holding on to for a while. You're going to see on my screen here that I'm loaded up with bags, and they're all negative. Not too bad right now. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to deal with Neo right now, but when you're looking at, I'm down about 7% of, $22. That's not a lot. I mean, what we're talking about is, in fact, let's go ahead and do that. So we say, so 2266 times 6.8%. That's only $1.54. So although it may hurt to take the loss and or whatever we're going to do with it, $1.54, with the size of the bag that I have here, isn't a big deal either way. So that's the question. A lot of people would say that you HODL, which is you hold on to it or hold on for dear life. Your second option is to sell it. And then the third option would be to DCA it, which stands for dollar cost averaging. And I'll show you some examples of that as well. First of all, when would you want to hold on to a bag? Well, if you think that you have it's going to go back up and you're going to recover, that's one reason. That's what people are always planning on. Now, in this case, here is Cryptohopper, the auto trading bot software that I subscribe to. What I want to be doing is scalping prices. That's my own strategy. I'm not doing swing trading. I'm not doing investing. I'm doing price scalping, which means I want a lot of trades in and out on a daily basis. If I go to my trade history, you're going to see that this is what's happening here. Is that I'm going in and out of trades, in and out of trades. In fact, if I go over to Neo as an example, you're going to see that once before I actually sold my bags that were down 21%. They were sold at $85.19, and then I actually rebought them, less than half an hour later at a lower price. So the question is, did I lose money because I sold it? Well, what I did was press the reset button and come in at a lower price. So it's actually holding basically the same amount or even a little bit more at a lower price. So was it good for me to do that? Maybe. I happened to sell it just about less than 6 hours later for a profit of 3.38%. So that got me thinking, well, what if I kept doing that? And by the way, from that point, I had another position that you can see here that sold within 2.5 hours for better than 2% profit, and then it rebought again and sold in less than 4 hours for 1.52% profit. And then there's the current one, which you'll notice was about $90.99, so $91, that I've been holding on to now. If I go back to the dashboard, you're going to see that I've been holding on to that really only a day. Okay, and I could choose to hold on to it and hope and pray it comes back up. I could sell it at a loss. I could sell it wanting to get back in and start trading it again, what I call the reset button, or I could dollar cost average it. And a dollar cost average it, all I have to do is click on it, go up to bulk options and say create a DCA order. It would actually double up on the amount at the current price. And what that does is lower your cost because it'll take the average between those two. And I'll show you another example of where I did that. Okay, but what I'm going to talk about now is actually on selling it. So first of all, let's take a look at Bitcoin. We know that it was in a channel and it went up and came down, and it's been in a downward bearish, I would say. We had a point there where it looked like it was going to hit resistance, but now it looks like it's actually going down again on the daily chart. Let's look at Neo, since that's the one that we've identified. What we can see is that Neo has been on a pretty downward trend right here. I was tempted to take it out of the pairs that I'm trading. You can see that the overbought, however, oversold rather, is in effect on the stochastic RSI, and that would think that we might have a little bit of a recovery, at least on the daily chart. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. What we can see here is that it's not quite oversold. It's been going down for a while, expected to go sideways. The ideal time for this strategy would be either selling at the top of one of these and then waiting for it to go down and then rebuying into it below. But if we're going to do it quick enough, the timing is not as important. What I would like to do is actually, I wish I could have done this back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So times 5 minutes, that's an hour ago. I would have liked to have done this an hour ago before it went up again, just so that I can start trading in and out of this cycle. This may not be the ideal time to do this, but again, I'm only down $1.54, so I'm going to go ahead and just sell it so I can show what happens. So I'll go back to the dashboard. In fact, let's look out on Binance, and here we can actually see it is oversold. Don't ask me why the numbers don't line up between TradingView and Binance on their internal exchange, but it is oversold. We can see it's been going down. I would expect it to go sideways or down for a little bit and then pick up. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and sell at this point, and then I'm going to stop the video and come back when the rebuy opportunity is there. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and click on sell, and it says, do you want to sell this position? I'm going to say yes, go ahead. I'm not putting a trailing stop on it. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm going to say yes, just go ahead and sell it. And so what we're going to see is that sell is up here. If I click on it, we're going to see it's manually sold, the rate that it was at, 83.74. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. We'll see what it finally happens. Once it's sold, it'll show up in my trade history, of course. Again, I'm going to stop the video right here. Oh, actually, it sold pretty quick. So what we can see is, yes, we took a loss of supposedly around 8% on NEO. So I'll go ahead and see where we bought it. So we see we bought it at 90.98. We sold it at 83.75. Almost an 8% loss. Let's see if that actually is a true loss or not when I rebuy this position. So I'll go ahead and stop this video now, and I'll be seeing you in a little bit. Okay, I went ahead and just restarted the video. It's been less than a minute. Just wanted to show you here that actually inside the software it's listing this as a buy right now. You can see that it's saying the stochastic RSI as a few minutes ago was at 9.2. If I flip over to the exchange, we can see it's at 1.15. So it's really low right now. I'm going to go back over here. We can see it's recommending to really start a trailing buy at this point. Now, it's going to be a few minutes before it would actually pick it up. I could wait, and I could set, I could even go in here and set a manual target and say, okay, let's say for NEO, for the next 5 minutes, let's make it a target. And now it's showing, that it is a manual target here, but that's no guarantee that it's actually going to buy it at this point. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go ahead and cancel that manual target, which I just did, and I'm going to go up to manual buy order. I'm going to select NEO as a coin, and I'm going to go into buy sell options. This is a point that a lot of people don't know about, but I can actually set it up as a trailing buy. Since I hope that it's still going down, which it looks like at this point, flipping over to the exchange, I'm going to go ahead and not worry about how much it's trading at or whatever, and it's going to take my normal buy amounts at this point, which is a little over $20. And in fact, let's go ahead and instead of doing that, I'm going to take that exact amount that I sold before. Whoops. And I'm going to select, what are we doing here? I keep clicking on the sort for it. Let's just wait for a second. Okay, there we go. and I'm going to do the exact same amount that I had before, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I'll scroll down to the manual buy order. Again, I'm going to say I want NEO. I'm going to say I want the same amount that I sold before so we can show apples to apples. And then I'm going to not forget to put on the trailing buy, and I've got a percentage there that we can do on that. And I'll say, okay, let's make it, well, that'll work. And I'll say place the buy order. If that all looks good, it does. I'll say confirm. And now we're going to see that show up here as a trailing buy. And so basically I sold that amount. I sold it for, the rate was 83.75. Now I'm trying to rebuy it at 83.42, 43, which is a lower amount than what I sold it for. I can go ahead and see that it's trailing it at this point. And what the trigger rate is, it looks like it, oh no, it's still up there, I just clicked elsewhere. But we'll go ahead and we'll wait until this buy happens. In fact, while that's going on, let's go and see, according to this, it's saying that BCC, which is actually Bitcoin Cash, is a buy. It's saying that Binance Coin is not, that BTC is a buy. It's saying that Ethereum is a buy, Litecoin is a buy, NEO, which we just did, is a buy. I can go look at these really quick and see, okay, so Bitcoin, oh boy, look at that. It is going down like a rock. It's below the stochastic RSI. I'm going to go ahead and do that one as well. So we will just go ahead and sell it and say yes. Then I'm going to go ahead and wait for that to show up. It's placed. I'll just go and grab that amount off of here before it disappears, and I'll get my manual buy ready. And I'll say okay. So for Bitcoin, we'll select that. We'll put in the same amount that I had before. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, buy, sell options, turn on trailing buy so that it trails it down and I'm not in right away. Look at that. You can see that NEO now, it's rebought and I'm actually up. If you remember, I was down almost 8% before. Now, since I bought it, I'm up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing with Bitcoin right now, and I'll say place the buy order. Okay, so we can see it's a buy. Trailing buy is enabled, the same amount as what we got out of, and I'll say yes. Okay, so now that order is sitting up here waiting to buy. I'm going to go ahead really quick, and I feel like getting rid of this 3-day-old Ethereum. So I'll go ahead and sell that. I'll go ahead and copy the amount, just Control C, whoops, Control C after I've got it up on the screen. I'll go ahead and select Ethereum. I'll put in the amount. Its trailing buy is already on. Let's make sure I have the right amount there. Oh, okay, it flipped off the screen because it sold it. Let's go to the trade history and see what it says. So it should be 2928, well, 02928. We'll go back to the dashboard there. We'll go to the manual order, select Ethereum. We'll go put in the amount. Boom. We'll make sure to remember to put on trailing buy because I want to get the best price during this dip that I can. In fact, let's just make sure that it's dipping still. So we'll go back here. It's going down right now. It had a little dip. It might be bottoming out. But let's just go ahead and do that. And we'll say place the buy order. Ethereum trailing, confirmed. Okay, now I've got two of them that are trailing. Okay, let's get rid of Litecoin. In fact, this time I'm going to copy the amount first while I have the time. I'll go ahead and say sell position. Yes. That is placed. I'm going to go over here to Ethereum. Litecoin. I don't know why I'm talking about I'm going to go ahead and put in the amount. I've got it already selected as a trailing buy. Let's double check and see where it's at. Probably should have checked that before I sold it, but look, it's actually on the way up, it says right now. But we'll go ahead and do that because, again, we're just waiting for that to hit. Yeah, it's done. I'll go ahead and put that buy order in, confirm. That's done. And now on Bitcoin Cash, I'll go ahead and do the same thing. It's down over 8%. I'll go ahead and sell that position. Yes. I'll find that over here under manual buy. I'll put that amount in. And again, you don't have to do that part, but I just want to keep it apples to apples for this video. But it's, picking that up. I'm going to say great. Let's go ahead and place that buy order. Tell you what, we'll look at it really quick. I mean, I already told it to sell, so we're kind of at that point. It's looking good. It's going down. It's oversold, and we'd hope that it would bounce at this point. Again, this is not advice, but this is my opinion. So I went ahead and placed that order. And so now you can see I've got 2 active buys. I've got 2 trailing buys. We'll go in and see how these work out. And I've only got 1 open position here right now. And, that one is sitting here as NEO, and you can see it's still up in the last 4 minutes. So I took something that I've been sitting in for a day, and I'm actually in a trade that's making me money at this point, seeing if I can recover some of what was lost. I'm going to go in here and take a quick look at the only coin I'm not in my basket, which is Binance. You can see it already bounced. It would have been nice to catch that one. I'm not going to be talking strategies on this video, but just showing you a couple ways to clear out the bags. But let's go and look and see what I did last time on Binance. So you could see that at that point I had only been in it for 5 hours. I was down 4.6% about. The cost was $20 and less than a penny, so about $20 even. Okay, then I went ahead and I DCA'd this position. So if you look, I had 2.46 amount for about $20. Then if we go forward, 4.92. So I basically doubled the position and doubled the cost. But because at the time it was low, I came in and right away I was actually making money on this new trade. I was able to dollar cost average it down. And then if I go here, what you're going to see is that I originally bought it again at $8.13. I rebought it at $7.75, and then when I finally let the system sell it, it was at $8.01. So that realized me a profit of 0.88% on these 2 positions together. Okay, and actually this was not a this was a DCA, so it doesn't show that red, of me selling it. I just bought the same amount again at a lower price. So when it sold it, I mean, you could see I was sitting on it here for 4.5 hours. I went ahead and did it and adjusted it, and then I sold it after DCAing it about less than 2 hours later for a profit. Let's go back and check and see how we're looking. We can see that of those, I've now got 3 positions, all slightly negative, but not as negative as they were before. And it's now trailing from this point. I've got 2 more that are waiting to be bought. And so let's just take a quick look and see what's happening. So we'll look at NEO. So, whoops, I'll go back to the exchange itself. So on NEO, okay, you can see that it actually bought it here, during that little blip up, and it's continuing to go down. Okay, not ideal. It would have been nice. Maybe I didn't have enough of a trailing amount on there. It would have been nice if it had followed it down lower, but that's okay. Because I did rebuy it at a lower price, so I'm actually down less than I would have been if I had just held it. Let's look at the other ones real quick. So Litecoin, We can see it shows us as being a little down, so let's take a look. And again, it did the same thing, a little blip up, and then it's continuing down, but we can see that the stochastic RSI is going up. We're just waiting to see it bounce. Okay, and then we'll do Bitcoin itself. It's down, which of course is dragging the others. You can see NEO now, we're kind of at break even again. These things are changing all the time. And then on Bitcoin, we'll take a look, and we're going to see that it's gone down a little bit. Little blip up there is when we bought it, and that's when, of course, the other ones that follow Bitcoin, blipped up again and made us buy those. And now this trade is going up a little bit. So if I go back over to my dashboard, this point negative is getting smaller, and that's what we're hoping, is that we go into the green and then we get to a point where our trailing sells take over. I'm not going to sell these manually. I'm actually going to just let them go. We can see that Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash are still trailing down since we did that, and we're hoping that these, when they show up here, are going to be at the lowest possible price, or at least be on the point where it's ready to tick upwards. I'll go ahead and that's interesting. Oh, so we just triggered the one on Ethereum. Less than, just happened. You saw it live. I'll keep recording here just for a little bit, just to see how long this takes. It shouldn't take long at all. There's usually pretty good volume. And so what we're going to see here is that, and there it goes. Boom. So that buy just happened. We can see Ethereum is now here. And yes, it did start out green. So we'll see if that was just a blip or not. Let's go over and flip to that chart. So if we go to Ethereum, you're going to see that, look, the stochastic RSI, we put that trailing buy in here, and actually after that other blip which caught us before, and now it's going up a little bit. We hope that trend continues, or at least continues long enough to get us out of this trade at a profit. I'm going to let the bot actually maintain this one. And you can see it's a little red now, but I'm not worried. I'm looking at the trends. You see Bitcoin is up a little bit now, that trade we did. I would expect that Ethereum would turn green here fairly soon. And I'm also expecting fairly soon to get in on our trailing buy. And look, there's Ethereum. And now 3 out of those 4 positions are positive. Bitcoin just turned to a buy. So we got a lot happening right now. I would expect, again, that this would fill. Let's see if I have enough time to even talk about it. So right now we're looking at a price, a rate to get in, at $1,041, buying a fractional position. There we are. We can see that it's red, but let's see how it's looking on the chart. So we'll go over, we'll go to BitConnect coin. We're going to see, look, so again, the stochastic RSI bottomed out. We're going to see that it's on an uptrend, and the coin itself, the volume is picked up, which is right here, and the price is picked up. Okay, so if I flip back over, the question is, are we going to see green on this trade as well? Not yet, but again, that's what I'm expecting. It's not instantaneous. I'm expecting, it's not a guarantee, that this would work the same way on every trade, or that way for you. So always do your own research. I'm just trying to show you a way to get out of your bags, hopefully come in at a lower price, so that even if it goes down, you're in a better position. Or if you're looking to scalp like I am, where you can actually get your bot trading again. Now look, Bitcoin here is still positive, so I would expect these other ones would follow it. And I'm going to come back later, and we will see what happens. You can see these are flipping around, but at least they're doing something. They're not just sitting red for days on end. But I'm going to stop the video again. We'll come back when we have some sales coming up, and I'll talk to you in a bit. So just checking in here, you can see it's been about 26 minutes, which you see here on the screen, since I started all of this. And in that time period, you can see from 26 to 16, spent about 10 minutes explaining it and doing all of them. I could have done them much quicker, obviously, but we're going to see that, again, 3 out of 4 are in the green right now. One is barely red. Since Bitcoin is going up at this point, I would expect it to drag that up, and there it goes, which is great. So now 4 out of the 5 are in the green right now. Litecoin is fighting it. We can see that we're almost up 1% on that NEO trade. So there it goes, and at a certain point, what we're hoping is that it hits, I've got my trailing stop set to 1.35, so once it hits 1.35%, it will arm the trailing stop loss. And then if it goes up or down by more than, if it goes, down by more than 0.35%, which will leave us at about 1% or 0.25%, whatever it was, it'll trail it and then get us out of that position at a profit. The only time that the bot sells for us currently, the way I've got it configured, is at a profit, no matter how long that takes. So again, if you're sitting in bags for a while, it'll do that. We can see there was a little dip. I can go up and see, hey, what's going on with Bitcoin, since that's the one dragging the others up and down. We can see that on the regular RSI, it's gone over the top a little bit. Let's go back to the stochastic RSI. And we're going to see that it's approaching overbought, which could mean that this is a top right there. So we didn't hit our target, from where it was to where it is now. But we're hoping that, again, that this is going to maybe have, if it has a little correction like it's doing right now, that it then bounces again. Let's go ahead and look at which one was closest. NEO, that's right, because that's the one that we did first. Whoops, and if we look at NEO, we're going to see that it's pretty much doing the same thing. Going up, it's taking a pause. It's right in the middle of that candlestick, and that's what they call a doji, which is indecision. Which way is it going to go? Now again, spoiler alert, it's probably going to follow Bitcoin. So if we look here, Bitcoin is taking a bit of a plunge, so we would expect that NEO would also have that correction. Again, I'm not worried. I mean, it's been less than half an hour, 29 minutes. We're up a little bit. I could tell it to sell right now, but again, I'm trying to get more of a rise out of it than this. So we're going to hold on for a little bit and see what happens. I'll go ahead and pause the video again, and I will come back. Okay, I came back, and it's 5 minutes since I was doing the last video. We can see that NEO is now showing up 1.3%. Again, it looks like Bitcoin is climbing and dragging the others with it. Some of the altcoins react faster, and that's why we're seeing this. Let's go over and look at that chart. So we look here at NEO, and you can see we bought it 35 minutes ago, which would be 7 periods, because we're on a 5-minute candlestick. So we go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where we bought it, right about here. Okay, and this is where it's at right now, and you can see it's actually gone up quite nicely. I'm still concerned that the stochastic RSI is showing oversold, so we're at a 97, so that's pretty high. Anything above, some people say 70 or 80 is considered oversold, but we want a good confirmation there. Let's click back over. All we need is this to get up above 1.35%, and the automatic trailing stop loss will kick in. If we miss it, and we keep missing it, then maybe it's a good time to adjust this to a lower number. Maybe 1% is enough for us on a trade, or maybe 1.1%. We'd have to go back afterwards and see how we did and how it bounced and so on. What I'm going to also do, of course, is go look at Bitcoin, because that is the big daddy. Currently, it has about a 41% dominance on CoinMarketCap. I think Ethereum, last time I looked, was about 18.7. So those are the two biggest coins, but of course, whatever Bitcoin does tends to affect the rest of the market. Okay, so we're seeing that Bitcoin, at least on that same chart, it's already gone over the top. It's going down a little bit, and right here you can see that the that NEO is adjusting to that. We'll go back and go to the NEO chart. And we can see that, yes, it's adjusting. It hasn't gone over the top yet. I'd expect that it might go either sideways or down a bit, depending on what Bitcoin does. I'm not going to touch this trade, though. I may be watching it. And look, it actually went to try to sell NEO right here. So if we look at it, it's in a trailing stop loss. We can see that it's trying to sell it right now, and so that should happen. It happened less than a minute ago when I was looking at the charts. And let's see what that comes up with. I'll stay on here, and there it goes. So that one is now gone. I'll go ahead and go to trade history. What we're going to see is it sold it for 0.99% profit. So basically 1%. If we take a look at it, I'll go ahead and just do the search. So we sold NEO for a loss at this point of about 8%. It was at 83.75. We rebought it for about a nickel more. Okay. However, we resold it for 84.64, which is basically 76 cents more, which equated to almost 1%. Okay, if we look at that, you can double check my numbers. It's really not important at this point. So, was it a good thing to sell at a loss and then capture back a little bit of money? Well, I guess it all depends on what's going on with NEO from this point. Look at this. You can see it looks like it might be going up again. So maybe we could have held on longer. What I choose to do, though, is I'm not unhappy because, again, it's in the oversold area. So if I didn't catch it right at the top where I was selling it, at least I'm out before it goes over the top. Because as you can see, when it goes over the top, in fact, we'll pick an area like this. So from here, you could have gotten into it from about 84.90, and then the top was 86.90. So that's like, $12. And it took a number of periods to go up, but then once it goes down much quicker. And in fact, you can see here it fell off very quick. So I'm okay with the fact that if this goes up for a little bit more and then goes over the top, I'm out. I'm setting up for the next position. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going up a little bit. It's kind of stabilized, but let's see what's going on the dashboard. You can see that I still have positions that I'm in, and those are showing in the green except for Litecoin, which has been fighting it. We can see it's trying to gain on it, but I'm going to go ahead and step away for a little bit and see what goes on. And again, we've got two coins that are not in at this point, which is NEO, which we just sold, and BNB, which is Binance coin, which I'm waiting on as well. Let's take a look and see what's going on with BNB. I'm getting a little bit of a delay here. Maybe it's because I'm streaming at the same time. I'll go ahead and refresh the whole screen, see if I can fix that. Well, that's being very slow. Anyway, I will go ahead and end the video a little bit. Oh, look at that. Ethereum is coming up to my trigger point. If we wait here, and we can see that it was a manual buy again because I bought it in front of you. We're almost up to the 1.35, and then once that happens, which we're really close to it right now. Look at that. Everything's in the green. Whoop, 1.47. So that should trigger the trailing stop loss. So let's click over here. And it should be trailing it right now. And look at that. BCC is now over 1.5%. Bitcoin 1.43%. All three of these now should be in pretty soon hitting our trigger as far as selling them, hopefully at a profit. So we're watching that. Look at this one's up almost at 2%. Come on, you can do it. Bitcoin Cash just hit 2% profit in 31 minutes. Let's go over and see what's going on with Bitcoin. We can see, boy, there's been a big spike there. So of course the other positions that we're holding, you know, Litecoin, which has been fighting it, it's now following. Ethereum is really following and is going up quite a bit. We can see that NEO, which we had before, well, we sold out and it's going up still, but I'm not worried about that. And then the Bitcoin Cash, you know, it's spiking up. So I'll flip over to the dashboard, and what we're going to see is that, you know, where we're at, and these should be hitting our trailing stop losses and putting them up for a sell. And when I might pause it and walk away again. It is tempting to watch it, you know, and cheer it on, especially when it's going your way. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to walk away, cook some food, come back and see, you know, that these hopefully did sell at a profit, and I will be back. Okay, I lost track. It's been exciting here. Didn't get to actually go cook some food that I was going to, just because I was watching the screen and watching how all the percentages are jumping. You can see that Bitcoin Cash up over 2.81%. If I click on that, you can see, yes, the stop loss is in effect. We can see that right now the spread between the current rate and the stop loss rate is about $8 and whatever cents. What'll happen is, as soon as the current rate, if it drops below the stop loss rate, that's when it'll put in the sell to actually get us out of the position. It's called a trailing stop because as the current rate goes up, this will trail behind it by whatever rate that we set, and you can see that actually just bumped up. So now that's gone up. And so as these go up, it'll follow it up, but once it goes over the top and comes down, if it comes down more than the percentage that we had in our trailing stop loss, then it'll put in the sell to actually execute the sale and get us out of this trade. Let's take a look and see how the other ones are doing. We can see the spread between these is about, what's that? A little over $2, okay, at that point. If it drops a little bit more than $2, then it'll sell it off. We can see that on Bitcoin itself, you know, the spread is going to be wider because the price is so much higher. I mean, we're talking $9,200. So that percentage equates to about, what's that, about $40. $40 and $42. Okay, if it drops $42, then it's going to go and take us out of that one. And we know this one's active. So this one here, we're talking about, again, less than, you know, between here and there. Oh man, that's only 40 cents currently between there if it drops. But we'll let those run. Maybe they'll keep going up. Let's look at the charts just for fun. Look at that, Bitcoin to the moon. Yeah, it's really being slow on this screen for me. Let's look at Ethereum. It's going up and to the moon. We can see that it's, you know, a run from 683 to 708. We'll go to Litecoin, which was the one that was fighting us before. We can see Litecoin actually has a little bit of red on it and some volume on that red. So if I flip back over, look at this. What we're going to see probably is Litecoin is going to be the first one to try to get us out. The current rate and the stop loss rate, if these touch, then that manual sell order comes in. We'll watch it just for a second here. We can see, you know, we lose a little bit of percentage, but what we're hoping is it continues to go up, and that you know, we're willing to risk losing a little bit for gaining more if it continues to go up. So again, if these two numbers touch, then that sell goes in, and however long it takes to fill, that's where we're going to lock in our profit or loss at that point. Should definitely be a profit since we're up so much. Okay, it looks like it's going up again. Let's go back to the chart. And yes, it is. Okay, let's continue down the list. So Bitcoin Cash still going up, still looking good, still in the oversold area, could turn around at any point. And again, it's Bitcoin that's really leading this bullish surge. We can see that the current candlestick, it's been higher, it's been lower. Those are the two wicks on either side, which you see here, the higher and the lower. And it's developing into a doji, which is when it's only in the center. And that's, again, as we talked about earlier in this video, that's indecision. But the bulls, they've been bored all day, so they're trying to buy. We'll go back to our dashboard, and look at that. We're out of a position. So which one? Guess what? It was Litecoin. It was that one that we predicted. Bitcoin is up over 3. So let's look at the trade history. And what we're going to see is Litecoin sold for 1.51%. Let's put in the search, TC. And we can see that we bought it at 176.13. We sold it at 178.79. The fee will catch up. But basically, as far as the total at this point without the fee, we made, again, we're not talking big dollar amounts here because it was only a $20 trade. But if you scale this forward and you had a $200 trade, you'd make 10 times as much. Or $1,000, or $2,000 trade, you'd make 10 times as much. Let's go back to the dashboard. We can see that these are still running. Let's go look at Litecoin to see if it stopped. Oh, we're getting some lag here on my system. Again, I think it's because I'm streaming. Well, we won't worry about that now. We're out of the trade, and that's okay. We banked some profit, and we're going to be back in it for the next one. Again, all of this happened in less than an hour because, again, we had some trades that happened already. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video again, and I will come back when it looks like we've got some more trades that happened, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh, wait. Bitcoin sell order placed. I was just about to pause the video again, and we can see that Bitcoin just did that. If we go up here, what we're going to see, and I think this screen is frozen, so I'm going to go ahead and reload it. I'll go back over and watch the trade, and we can see that it was triggered by a trailing stop loss. We can see the amount that it's trading currently. We're going to wait and see where we get out and how much profit we locked in. And remember that we actually, if you back up the video, you can see how far down this one was when we started. But because we sold those bags, okay, we were able to start trading again. Otherwise, we would have been sitting on the sideline. Again, this is not a recommendation that this is what you should do. I'm just saying that I made the choice that, for whatever, $2 of being down, I wanted to get back in there and start trading again, start letting my Cryptohopper do the work. So I'll click over to this. We'll see 3.59%, not counting the fees yet, but the fees are very low on Binance. And we can see we bought it at 90.14, basically 90.15, and sold it at 93.38. So about $324 of upside on that one, and that's why we had our profit. We'll go ahead and switch back over. We still have 2 open trades. Still can't see how the market's doing. Again, I'm lagging. Up there we go. And look at that. Bitcoin is now red. I sold off less than a minute before that happened. We're going to expect now that we're seeing some red on Bitcoin, that the two that we're left in, Bitcoin Cash, it hasn't happened yet, but you can see it's like an inverted hammer where you have a lot of wick on top and the hammer part, the wide part on the bottom, and I'm expecting this to go red because, again, Bitcoin is going to drag it down most likely. Oh, there it goes. Just as we were expecting, what we would hope, and yep, there it is. It's the sell. Now remember, I didn't push sell. My bot did that automatically. So it's now trying to get out of this position, and that's the last position that we're in, which means while I was talking about that one, we got out of Ethereum at a profit. Let's go ahead and do the search. We can see that we, let's go back to where we sold it at a loss. Okay, we sold it at 690.84. We rebought it at 691.51. So it did cost us a little bit more to get back in, and that was just the delay between, me selling and buying. But then we sold it at 706.63 and made a profit. So we could take this loss here and say, okay, we were down about 6.3%. We made about 2.2%. So, that cut into that. So we weren't down as much. If we had just held on to it, where would we be? We would probably be up about this same amount, but we'd still be in the trade and holding those bags, which we had, let's see, that's 3 days, over 3 days, 3 days and 2 hours that we had been in it. So at least now we're trading, we're waiting for the next position. You can see that we're waiting on that one. Let's go back to the chart. Okay, the chart is saying that it actually looks like it's going up again. We're not worried though. It's oversold, so it'd be a good thing to get out at this point, at least in my opinion. People could say, in comments on the video, like, oh, well, if you just held on, you would have gotten more, but that's hindsight. I'm happy when the bot is working as it's supposed to, and again, 46 minutes in this trade, and to come out with better than 3%, I mean, that's a win. I'll go ahead and, I can't imagine this would take much longer here. And there it goes. So let's go ahead and go to trade history. We'll do what we did before. 3.2%. That's a great trade. I mean, look at these. 1%, 1.5%, 3.6%, 2.2%, 3.2%. All of that happened because I got out of my bags. So let's go and look and see again. We sold at about an 8.2% loss. We were in a trade, got a 3.2% profit, and again, since I locked in the same amounts, manually on those, that would mean that we took an 8.2% loss and turned it into a 5% loss, if you take the 8.2 minus 3.2. So we're out of that trade. We're sitting on the sidelines. We don't have any open trades at this point. You can see nothing. Okay, and we are waiting for the next setup. We're waiting for the next cycle. So when this goes over the top, comes down, we're ready. We've got cash available, or in this case, Tether, which is USDT. And then we're going to just keep going and see what happens. I'll go ahead and end the video here, since all those positions that we had open in bags are now sold, and I will come back with other videos soon, so please tune into the channel. If you haven't already, if you like this video, like it. If you didn't like it, then dislike it. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and click the little bell icon for notifications about when I release a new video. Upcoming videos are going to be my introduction to Cryptohopper, which I haven't done yet. We'll do some chart analysis. I'll be taking questions from people who are on my Discord. If you look below, you'll see a link to my Discord channel. and I hope that everyone's doing great and the bags aren't treating you too badly. And we will talk soon. Okay, I did it again. I know I said I was ending the video, gave my goodbyes, and asked people to subscribe, but I thought it would be a good time to go ahead and show that, yes, we sold here, and then it went up a little bit more, but look what happened with Bitcoin. It's definitely going over the top, it looks like now, and it's turned red, so I'm glad I'm out of that. And the fact that it drags the other ones, take a look, they did the same thing. So they're going red, and this one, Ethereum is over the top, so I feel good to be out. We'll look at Litecoin. Again, it's still kind of sideways on the stochastic RSI, but look, it's some red going up. Glad to be out of that one. Neo, which we got out of earlier, you can see it did have a bit of a rise after we got out, but now it's going over the top. Glad to be out of that one. And then Bitcoin Cash, we got out, just turning the over the top move, and volume is up on that, so it looks like it's going to happen. Again, glad to be out of that one. Still not in any new positions, but am happy to be sitting on the sidelines and waiting for the next cycle. I am going to stop doing this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Sorry if it was too long, but again, we try to get some live action in there as well. So I'll go ahead and sign off again. Again, subscribe, click your notifications, join me on my Discord where you can ask channels if you want me to cover things in future videos. I will be doing that again after a pause from doing YouTube, and I hope to see you all again soon, just not too soon tonight. Talk to you then.